Rary of Ket was a member of the Circle of Eight and a powerful archmage. He created the spell Rary's Telepathic Bond, which allows 8 creatures to psychically communicate with each other for an hour. Perhaps you've heard of it. In the surprise twist of the century, Rary murdered 2 other members of the Circle of Eight. So what happened? Why did Rary turn traitor, and what did he get for his betrayal?
Curse your sudden but inevitable betrayal!
But really quick, a portion of this video is sponsored by the Curiosity Box by Vsauce. They sent me over this Denary dice set, which is a D1 all the way through a D10, and they're mathematically as precise as they possibly can be, and a fun way to add to your dice collection. Definitely a fun one to show off at your table. I love them. They are just for games or other silly things, or if you're just a weird dice goblin like myself, these are the kind of things that you like to collect and play with. Right now, you can get the Denary dice set as a gift for annual plan subscribers. How Curiosity Box works is you get 4 limited edition boxes per year of the best science toys. I love science toys. I think they're fun for kids and adults. So when Curiosity Box reached out to sponsor some videos, I was very excited. You can get 25% off with code Jorphdan, that's Jorphdan, or use the link down below and tell them that I sent you. These dice are so cool. Hello everybody, Jordan here, the PH is silent. This video goes into the Greyhawk campaign setting, and if you'd like more info on lore and history for Dungeons & Dragons, please subscribe. And special thanks to all of my patrons that keep the lights on. Within the history of Greyhawk, there was a period of time called the Greyhawk Wars, also called the Great War, where all the kingdoms of the Flaneus were fighting with one another due to the instigation of Ayuz the Evil. And that is the backdrop for this whole Rary the Traitor fiasco. When the Great War broke out, Rary withdrew from the Circle of Eight. He dwelt in his wizard tower and mostly avoided Circle of Eight meetings on how to handle the warring nations. It was taken that he was more interested in his hobbies than in geopolitical turmoil on a vast scale. But in reality, Rary was frustrated with the Circle of Eight and how they handled situations. While in his tower, he wandered the nearby regions and befriended a people known as the Paynims. Now, the Paynims were a regional sect of people that are more widely known as the Baklunish. They typically have golden skin, blue-black hair, and gray-green eyes. They were nomadic horsemen who traveled around the particular area. Most human cultures in Greyhawk reflected real-world cultures as their inspiration. The Baklunish people were a mixture of Arabic and nomadic horse tribes of Central Asia. Rary really loved these people and spent a lot of time with them learning their culture and different magics. Much like Saruman in Lord of the Rings, Rary researched evil too much and then became corrupted by evil. Rary spent time studying the histories of Ayuz, the Scarlet Brotherhood, and the Overkings of Erde. He began to admire them in their tactics, but not their end goals. Ayuz had little direction or purpose other than do what's best for Ayuz. The Scarlet Brotherhood was so secret it actually hurt their movement forward. Now, studying these cults and figures, Rary thought he could exploit the masses just enough for real change. And just like that, Rary slipped from the Circle of Eight neutrality into evil. Rary enlisted the aid of Lord Rabelar, who is also powerful and somewhat unstable. They formulated a plan to put themselves into seats of power within the Flaneus. Now, by this time, the Great War was soon to be over, and loads of high officials and diplomats were arriving in Greyhawk for the Great Signing, where they would outline their path forward for peace. Rary's plan was to set magical traps and destroy all of the nobles that gathered for the signing. This would include at least half of the Circle of Eight, as well as kings and politicians, and after their deaths, Rary would send emergency agents to the leaderless countries and control them like puppets. The magical explosion, the trap set by Rary, was to be blamed on the Scarlet Brotherhood. But Rary was caught early. Rary had finished the last magical trap when a few members of the Circle of Eight walked in for a last-minute inspection and saw what Rary had done. Forced into conflict, Rary attacked and set off some of the magical traps. Now, a great wizard battle occurred between 3 members of the Circle of Eight and Rary. Rary was outnumbered, but he had the advantage of numerous magical traps that he had set. He triggered them all. and Bigby was left badly injured. Tensor and Autoluke were outright killed. And at the same time, Rabalar's troops destroyed the hidden clones of Tensor and Autoluke, ensuring that their death was permanent. Rary and Rabalar fled Greyhawk, taking their new Paynim army into the Bright Desert. In the weeks that followed, both the Council of Eight and the government of Greyhawk went looking for Rary. His wizard tower in Ket was gone, magically transported, and rumors were he left Oerth altogether. But new information arrived that his tower had appeared in the Bright Desert, specifically the Brass Hills. And Rary now lived there. He declared himself the monarch of the Bright Lands, and he subjugated the local nomads. So fun side note, Rary had to summon demons, and he commanded them to move his wizard tower. So I like to think that the Abyss has a moving service you can call, demon movers. Your items are safe, but your soul isn't. Hey. Rary had fortified himself in one of the harshest places on Oerth. Bringing him to justice was not going to be an easy task. Most kingdoms stayed out of the Bright Desert due to its inhospitable nature. To attack Rary would be to go up against his army and the environmental effects that the desert would bring. And after research, Mordenkainen realized Rary fled there on purpose. Rumors of a rare artifact hidden in the Bright Desert that had the power to control powerful creatures. Rary currently couldn't defeat Greyhawk, but if he found this artifact, the situation would change. The Flaneus could not simply forget about Rary the traitor. He had become a key villain to the free people of Greyhawk. Now, the artifact that Rary seeks is called the Scorpion Crown. The item was said to be cursed, but if he could find it and neutralize the curse, Rary believed it would become a powerful asset. He also believes that the Bright Desert is his kingdom, but it's not actually recognized by most of the people in the Flaneus. The Scorpion Crown is made of black iron in the shape of a scorpion. It's always cool to the touch. It has no real use other than its curse. Placing it on your head, you are painfully transformed into a master scorpion. There is no save for this effect, and because it is a cursed item, I assume you can't remove the crown? Anyone who holds allegiance to the newly transformed person makes a save versus spells to be transformed into a half-person, half-scorpion, so more commonly known as a CG Dwayne Johnson. Rary hopes to circumvent the negative aspects of the crown and create an army of these centaur scorpions. However, he is unaware that the crown only functions within the Bright Desert. If cursed you or any cursed subjects leave the Bright Desert, the curse is lifted. It's still a pretty sweet item though. If a king put it on, all of the subjects that king had could potentially be transformed. If I put it on, maybe my dog would transform. Such a good boy. Thanks for watching, everyone. Thank you for liking and sharing this video with your gaming group. Let me know down below if Rary or the Bright Desert will make an appearance in your campaign. Subscribe for more. Visit patreon.com/Jordan with a PH in the middle for other projects that I'm working on, and I will see you all in the next video.